Well, good morning. It looks like we should have some fun with this campaign now. You have Robert F. Kennedy and J.D. Vance on the same side. I can't wait to see those two people trying to do something together. I don't think they could be in the same state at the same time. That's just amazes me. And according to everybody else that I've so far, emphasize so far, it doesn't look as if Kennedy's endorsement of Trump is going to have much of any effect on Kamala Harris's campaign. He's just doesn't amount to anything, and his family, whew, they're pissed. I mean, they're all they're all just disgusted with this man, and I am to a certain degree too. I mean, I saw his father get shot on live television, so I don't want to uh, diminish his legacy too much, but he's really he's really out there. I mean, he his anti-vax vaccination thing has gotten too extreme, uh, as a lot of them have. I mean, I'm not saying there's no reason for that or that it's like I told you. My wife doesn't believe it anymore. She got sick and she doesn't believe it anymore. She doesn't believe in vaccination anymore. Well, we're old enough that we don't have to worry. That we've probably passed the time when it would be a really, really important thing to do. Young people should get vaccinated against certain diseases, not everything. Um, the horrible diseases, polio, and measles and smallpox and stuff like that. Stuff that is either very bad for them or is detrimental to society if it spreads. Measles is one of them. It kills a lot of young people. People don't realize that. It's very, very destructive to young people. But anyhow, other things, I really don't know that much about his other issues. He was a lawyer doing something, I read about it, but I've forgotten, and I'm not going to go back and look at it right now, because I don't think that's an issue. I just think he's, his desire to become relevant is going to result in him becoming irrelevant, and that may sounds crazy, but I think he was he wasn't that relevant to begin with, and I think he just made himself more irrelevant. But we'll see what happens. It's a short time period, but it's also a very volatile time period coming up. Another point of interest is Donald has threatened to leave the country if he loses the election. Now that could present a real problem. He's on parole, and I don't think he's allowed to leave the country. Okay, so that could present a real problem for him. And he will he attempt it? No, because the only places he can go are non-extradition treaty countries, and none of them are real nice, and none of them really like us that much. And I don't think he's going to be a hero unless he goes to Russia. He could go to Russia. He and Steven Seagal could get together and play checkers, or mahjong. I'm a little uncomfortable. That's why I'm moving around. So I'm sorry about that. I have some problems in my bone structure. I'm old. That's the big problem. But anyhow, I don't see any place else for him to go, really. China, North Korea. North Korea doesn't want them. They've got one crazy motherfucker leading the country now. They don't want another one in the country, But China, maybe. I don't know. China loves Nixon. Nixon did a lot of good for China and opened it up to the world. So even though he was a criminal and a whack job himself, he was allowed to. He went back to China after he was impeached. But Donald's first big problem was going to be getting out of the country without being arrested and thrown in jail. And I don't think too many people are going to try and sneak him out of the country because he won't go. You know, he's going to have his. He's not going to go in a boat. You know, in a freighter, in a in a in a shipping container. You know, he's not going to do that. He's just, you know, he's going to go first class. He wants his own jet, which I don't think he owns anymore, really, to be honest with you. I think his company owns that, and I think they lease it. I don't think they own it. Owning a jet's very expensive. You know, you can lease it and you can put any kind of name and stuff that you want on it, you know, but yeah. Personally, if Trump wants to leave the country, I'd be happy to escort him to the plane, put him on the plane and say, bye, Donnie, never to hear from you again, you know? He won't be able to do that. He's going to have to. I don't know what he's going to do when if he loses, because it's still not a definite thing that he's going to lose. But I have no idea what he's really going to do. I heard he's dropping hints that he did lose the 2020 election. Yeah, well, whatever. He lost. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he can say whatever he wants to say, but he lost. You know, his big thing now is, I'm going to win, and I'm going to pardon all the January 6th criminals. Well, he'll probably hire them as bodyguards or enforcers or something like that. You know, I don't know that they're all crazy people. I just think they're very delusional. Is that the correct word to put? They've been scammed and they don't know it yet. You know, but they'll find out. You know, especially if he loses, they'll find out. You know, because if he loses, the last people he's going to be thinking about are January 6th rioters. You know, he's not going to care what happens to them, because he's facing financial ruin if he loses the election. Okay? You know, because right now he's using that, I talked about this the other day, his super PAC, which legally allows you to spend the money for anything. And he's using that to finance his lifestyle and whatnot right now, you know. And as I understand it, both golf clubs, the one in Scotland and the one in New Jersey, are in Mar-a-Lago. All three are not financially sound 100%. You know, I don't know if that's true or not, because I think Bedminster wasn't in financial trouble, and Bedminster still does a lot of business because he doesn't hang out there that much. Because you have to understand, they lose tee times, they lose everything, you know, when he's there. People don't understand that. He can walk out on the golf course and play through anybody anytime he wants. You know, especially if he's president. They can't do anything about it, you know. He owns the golf course, so he can go out there anytime he wants to, hack up the greens, do whatever he wants, walk through foursomes, play through people and everything like that, you know. Take as much time as he wants to, you know, cheat, whatever he wants to do. So that's you know, that hurts them financially sometimes, you know. He ties up the banquet space, the dining rooms and whatnot, you know. I don't know if it's true. I heard a rumor he sat down in the dining room and had McDonald's order delivered to him in the dining room. I don't think he's that stupid, but it's possible. You know, a lot of things you hear about Donald went out of the public eye and whatnot. The man is stupid. But I just don't believe he's as stupid as everybody claims he is. You know, I think he's stupid, and I'm not. And my definition of stupid is definitely different than a lot of other people. So you know, it may not be as critical to him as it is in my thinking. You know, but Let's see what's going on now. Um, there's got to be some sort of thing between him and Melania too. I don't know what's going to happen there, but she's gone. And I understand. I just read an article that Barron Trump speaks 3 or 4 different languages. He's not as dumb as somebody said he was. I don't understand that, you know. But I know he's not gonna. He's not a. He won't go into. He won't go into politics because he won't have a chance. He'd have to. I think his mother would stop him, and I don't know whether his mother's going to stay in the United States or anything if Trump loses the election. I don't know if she's going to stay married to this asshole. I don't know what kind of contract they're under, you know. Maybe she's saving up her money to have him hit. Who knows, you know. He'll have. He'll still maintain minimum Secret Service protection. So does Bill Clinton. Still has it. All the ex-presidents that are still alive, Obama still has it. His family still has it. But it's at a minimum level because the way our country is set up, kidnapping an ex-president doesn't do you any good. But kidnapping Donald Trump. Not because he won't pay for his wife. Yeah, that's right. He just tell him to keep her. You know, if she got kidnapped. Anyhow, it's been nice talking to you on a very, very rainy, thundery Sunday morning down here in Bayo, Colombia. I will be back on Monday, tomorrow. Hopefully well, not hopefully, but maybe there'll be something interesting to talk about then. And then we get ready for the NFL season, all right? Today are the last exhibition game, or what they call exhibition games, and that's what they are, really. I knew guys that had to buy these seats to maintain their season tickets, and it's horrible. People go to these games that can't get into regular games. You know, they can't afford to go to the in-season games. These games are a little cheaper, so they like to go and they like to see the stars. You know, but they don't get to see them. They don't play. If they play a couple of series, but that's it. Especially this game. This is the last game of the season, and I see this eventually disappearing altogether. You know. And they just do, you can do scrimmages for your best fans or something like that, let your best fans in. I used to go to, before I left, I used to go to the Giants practices, and then they started to restrict it because they found out they could charge people money for it. I think football's going to find out that they're a little too greedy. It's sort of like baseball, you know. Baseball's got a huge fan base, and most of the seats that are any good in a baseball stadium are corporate owned. Football's even worse. All right, in terms of corporations that own them, because to take a guy like when I was in the United States living there, I couldn't afford to go to a game unless I could buy it. You know, somebody gave me a ticket or I scalped a ticket. That's baseball. And I was very, very lucky doing that. I got to see the historic Pine Tar game. I was there. I got the tickets as they were playing the national anthem outside the state. We were outside the stadium. We ran in, got our seats, and I have to tell you something. I've never had better seats at a baseball game in my life. I was about 6 rows up from the first base side. I got to see the legendary Billy Martin walking back, laughing at George Brett freaking out at home plate. It was a great game. It was a great day. I went with one of my best friends. I was still around and keeps sending me pictures every anniversary. We have a photograph. I don't know where this photograph came from, but we're in it. And George Brett walking off the field. I guess the picture was about Brett, but we were in the stands watching this. And it's a little blurry. It's a little hard to see, but it shows us we're there. Pretty good day in my life, you know. But a really good friend. He's a really nice. He's a nice guy. You know, a lot of my friends are a little rough around the edges and whatnot. You know, alcoholics like I was. So you know, that's how we met in the first place. So we're a little rough around the edges. But my friend Bill there, I have two friends named Bill. Both of them are the same thing. They're there if I need them, and they were great guys. You know, my really good friend, of course, Dave. He passed away, and I miss him a lot. You know, I miss my bro. I miss my family too. They're like my family, so I miss them almost as much as I miss my family. And I'm hoping that they're, you know, if they go someplace or someplace nice, if they get reincarnated, they come back as something good. You know, because they're good people. They didn't deserve to leave so early in life. You know, but that's talking about my family and my friend David. The rest of my friend, the other, Bill and Bill are still alive as far as I know. I just talked to the baseball Billy P. I just talked to him recently because we were discussing like the Pine Tar game. But anyhow, I digress. I've kept talking, which is you know, my favorite thing to do. But I'm really interested. I want to see something happen this week. I can't see Trump would rather have Kennedy as his vice president. Well, we'll see what happens there. I mean, they're going to if they do anything, they're going to disrupt the election because I have to have a ballot soon. My ballot has to come soon, you know, and so I can get it back to them in time. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.